Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. And we're here today with Darkwood. Darkwood is what I would like to call, this is my genre classification for Darkwood, a survival horror RPG psychological thriller. That's how I feel about this game after playing it for about 2 to 3 hours now, and coming away extremely disturbed, wanting more, and at the same time, not sure whether or not I would be able to pick the game up and play it again for a lot of actually good reasons. Now, the game is in early access, so that's really kind of what would startle me, is that I don't actually know how much is here. In the 2-3 hours I played, I didn't really run out of content to explore, but it is in early access, it is an alpha essentially, so saves are always getting wiped. In fact, they're about to wipe the saves very soon for this as they move into 1.3. You're going to find bugs, you're going to find issues, so again, this isn't a game that I would recommend picking up if those sorts of things annoy you, but I wanted to sit down and really look at Darkwood and what it has to offer, because there are a lot of elements in the game design of Darkwood that already are shining through to me that were really impressive, and that really genuinely took me by surprise. Now, the game is available on Steam Early Access, as I said, for $14.99. It's being developed by Acid Wizard Studios. So let's go ahead, we're going to start a brand new game, because I feel that the prologue is actually one of the most important parts of the game. Because of how well it's done, it really sets the setting, the precedent for what you're going to be doing inside the game. Now, the world of Darkwood does have a sort of theme to it. You're essentially stranded in this dark forest, there are other inhabitants, and you're basically trying to discover, survive, and explore. So it's a very open world concept, and it is actually randomly generated. So every time you load into certain places on the map, you will find that it is actually a randomly generated area. But we're going to dive into the prologue first. Now, I'm going to talk a lot about this game as we're going through this, but at the same time, I'm going to take pauses, so you're going to notice really possibly more than lengthier than usual segments where I'm not talking, because I feel the game really speaks for itself at certain moments, especially in the sound design. This is one thing that really had me startled many times, not jump scare wise, but just the overall sound design is so nerve-wracking constantly. It is wearing on your nerves. But let's go ahead and check out the intro here. So as you can see, the intro sets the standard for how the game is played out. It's about discovery. You know so little about what is going on, and this prologue does a really good job at making you even more confused. But let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the game is a top-down viewpoint, and normally this sort of saddens me. When I play games like this, I'm like, man, there's just such this loss of immersion, and the atmosphere is not there really, and sometimes you just lose it. That's not the case with Darkwood, and you'll see why as we play through it. I came away genuinely impressed. Just how much the game was able to sort of pull me in. So let's go ahead and just start searching things here. We see we can actually have our inventory. We can have up to 3 items essentially on ourselves that we can quick equip, and then we have our entire inventory here. We have our stamina bar and we have our health. So let's go ahead and grab those pills. And let's walk around here. So we have some notes on the ground. I know these notes by heart. I don't want to read them now. I use this to make moonshine. So he's got some potatoes over here, an alcohol distillery. This guy's just making moonshine. Got a barricaded window. I really want you to take in all the small effects of the game, because to me, this game uses small effects and sound design more than most games do to really help draw the player in. Notice the small lighting effects, the sound of the character walking. Let's go ahead and open this door. This is a rather gruesome scene. Let's go see what's... Cages. This time they are empty. Okay, so the cages are empty. Let's go over here. I best not enter this room right now. That's not curiously terrifying or anything. So we got a trapdoor. I used to store some stuff here, but it jammed a long time ago. Locked. I could open it with a lockpick. Okay. This is, I mean, I guess this is like post-apocalyptic, you know? So obviously this house is going to be a pretty terrible place to be. Let's see, we got a bunch of loot here. We got some alcohol, quickly made moonshine, we got a rags, a front door key, some wood, and a matchstick. Let's check one more room. I best not enter this room right now. Okay, that's 2 rooms we can't go in. I actually didn't see that room the first time I played this prologue, so that's a bit discerning. Let's go ahead and go out front. So the game has really clever UI design. It's all very simple and quick, and it was one of the things that I was really impressed with. Aw, that's depressing. Okay, I don't think we have anything currently on us that we can use to put our dog out of horror here. We have some rope we can grab. I have a soft spot for dogs, so that's a really heart-wrenching moment for me. Large humanoid doll with a cutout face. That's very classic horror, and also very terrifying. You'd think near the piles of wood there would be like an axe, but I'm not seeing anything. Let's see if we search the wood logs. Nothing. Okay, it's telling us spacebar to climb over obstacles. Let's climb over our fence. Ah, there we go. An axe. Alright, let's go put our dog out of its misery first, because I can't stand to see a dog suffering. Now you'll see on the weapons, on the status right there, that red is essentially the amount of damage that the weapon has before it'll break. So when you craft weapons, when you find weapons or tools in the environment, they won't last forever. Oh, it's so terrible. I can't handle it. Okay, let's go back this way. Climb this fence. There doesn't seem to be anything in the house, so I guess we might as well just explore the woods, as much as my brain is telling me not to do this. Okay, so we're going to chop down the tree. Way through. Again, I know it just seems like I'm, probably being a little bit unnecessary about the sound design and the UI design, but as much as I'm not a huge fan of this right now, again, the game is an alpha, that could change. There's so many small details with the way they do the lighting and, your character's line of sight, and even the pulse on the reticle right here, to sort of signify when we've got a complete swing going, is just, they're very nice small touches that stand out to me, especially for this type of game. Normally when you play a lot of games in early access, components like that, number one, are missing. At the same time, these sort of top-down games that, were designed by much smaller studios tend to not have the luxury or time of putting in really small, nice details. Darkwood doesn't seem to have that issue, though. I've already been really impressed, and as we can continue to play, I think you guys will recognize that a bit more. But let's search our way through this dark forest. We got some more loot here. The art style, too, is very simplistic in many ways, but at the same time, I feel they've put like a nice layer on everything, a nice bit of effect to, in my opinion, really make the game stand out a bit more, to separate itself from a lot of the other games that are doing this same sort of styling, the very simplistic art style. Not saying that this is ultra simplistic, it's definitely not minimalistic, but there's a lot of nice detail going on in the environments and in the artwork that really have made me enjoy playing the game. I'm normally not a big fan of these games, really. Top-down style games are usually a huge turnoff for me because I feel like, it's missed potential to create a deeper world, but that's definitely not the case again with Darkwood. I've been genuinely impressed with it. So let's go. Let's wander our way through this dark forest. It's a cool way of doing a tree that we're sort of able to look at from a very weird perspective. Now the funny thing is I've made my way through here once before already for the prologue, and I'm lost. I don't actually remember. I think this is the right way. I do remember seeing this corpse. Apparently it's still rotting, which is slightly creepy. Okay, we made it out the other side. I found the less you sprint in this game, the better, because sprinting usually just results in you being permanently out of stamina, and then when you can't run, it's much worse than when you're yeah, it's much worse force being to walk rather than choosing to walk. He's got a key, and he's alive. Can we save him? He's unconscious. The little rat didn't make it into his hole. He's got the key. He must know where the door is. Only pests like him know how to get out of these woods. Of course, he won't willingly tell me anything. This my dude, he's like a serial killer, is what the conclusion that I've come to. Okay. So now we're actually playing as the character that we just picked up off the ground. And we're back here in the creepy house, which is slightly scary. Let's see what we can find and make our way out of this damn place, though. Now, the first time I played through the prologue, it was a bit more impactful on me, and I hope that you guys watching will have been able to sort of recognize that. Especially, you know, you feel for your character initially, that first character, like, oh yeah. But by the end of it, I felt he was a serial killer. I'm just like, this dude's crazy. I don't want anything to do with him. Oh, we can craft a lockpick and open this up. Let's do that. Flashlight and a shovel. Okay. So we'll equip both of these items because one's smashing people's faces in, which is always useful. You can see it's actually really damaged already, so we're probably not going to get too many hits out of it. And the flashlight looks like it's really low battery-wise. We can also craft a bandage, which would be an intelligent idea, so we can get ourselves a little bit of health back here because we are super, super low. So let's put the bandage in slot 3. Let's equip that, and then use the bandage. So bandage ourselves up. Looks like the only way out is this barricaded door, so let's just bash it in with the shovel. As terrifying as this seems. Okay, now the shovel's broken, so it's pretty much the end of that. We're gonna... I want to be really careful. Somebody's in that room. Perhaps we can save them and see what they're all about. Let's not waste our flashlight battery, though. It seems really, really low, and I'd prefer to have a flashlight when I really, really need it. Creaky floorboards, man. I'm telling you, dude. Okay, there's something barricading this door. So I already searched that. What we can do though is we can actually grab this, and we can either use it to... We can actually drag it out of the way, so that's what we're going to do. It's blocking this door that we need to get to. There's actually some guy laying on the thing. See if we can turn on the generator. What the hell? Okay, so we have a generator that's talking to us. I think we have fuel. We did pick up a fuel can, didn't we? No, we didn't. I thought we did. Alright, let's scour this room just a bit more. So like I was talking about with the sound design, it was one of the things that really impressed me with the game, because there's a lot of effort put into keeping the player on edge, and not by just extreme moments. Like, you know, we did have that... What's this? Makulska? As I was saying though, yeah, we did have the moment where there's this sort of like screeching ghost thing. I mean, I guess we kind of understand that the outside world is pretty effed at this point. And the body's gone. Let's close that door. I didn't notice that last time I did this. I came into this room last time. I did not realize that body just freaking up and disappears, dude. Oh man, that's too much for me. I'll be honest. Yeah, it's not just about like having this super creepy noise. We kind of already know the world is effed, but there's a lot of effort put into like the creaking of the floor, the fact that there's somebody else in that room and they're actually moving about. They're actively doing something, which makes it, for me as the player, like, yeah, I now want to find out who's there. Is there somebody who can help me? Are they alive? And okay, let's see that. Let's switch the generator on. Generator is on. Okay. As much as I really don't want to, let's make our way back out here. There's an old radio. I'm gonna go ahead and not turn the radio on because that just sounds like a super scary thing to do as well. Let's actually move this light. What we'll do is we're gonna move this light by this doorway. So when we open it, because we're going to craft a lockpick and we're going to see who's in there. Hopefully they can help us. They're probably just trapped by this freaking serial killer guy. Stop dragging. Let's close that door. Like the door creaks. I mean, the screeching of things as you drag it across the floor. Man, it is all just like really, really... Oh, okay. We got a plank with nails. Let's definitely craft that. So we don't have enough materials yet. Oh, we have a lockpick. We already did it, didn't we? Okay, we're good to go there. Let's go ahead and equip this, though, because weapons. Always a good thing to have a weapon in hand. Can we swing? Okay. Alright. Let's open the door. Oh no, what's he doing? Get back! Get back! Ow! He's just punching me straight in the face. It's not even like a monster, he's just throwing jabs, man. He's like a boxer. Oh my god. He's got nothing. How do you want to get out now? You think you can manage all by yourself? Oh crap, dude, this is too sketchy for me. Oh. Too much, man. It's too much. Alright. I don't know if we're the same person, but we have now woken up and we're somewhere else. So let's talk to this guy, the wolf man. I could feel your stench from afar. You should be thankful I don't have an appetite for carcasses, eh? He hides his face under a hood. I can feel the smell of wet ground and fur. I came after your reek to inform you about something, but looking at your face, someone has already done just that. These woods are full of little trinkets, treasures. If you find anything valuable, I'll gladly have a look at it. Maybe even give you something in exchange. My hideout is not very far to the northwest of here. Remember this, because the likes of you always crawl back to me. He's a creepy character for sure. A little welcome present. With this unusual bucket, you'll be able to drink our local crystal clear water straight from the well. You'll see when the night comes, you won't be able to live without it. Does he have like an AK on his back? He totally does, dude. I didn't even notice that. These dudes just running around with guns. Jeez. It's funny that someone would like to speak so much, won't ever say a word. I'll give you an advice, almost for free. If you want to know more about where the thing came from, find the woman who stinks of chicken, eh? We'll find her in a cottage close by to the southwest of here. Okay, he likes information, and he's calling me meat, so it's not creepy or anything. Does he have anything that we can trade with? I don't think we actually have anything worthwhile for him. He has a lot of stuff, though. We got flares, there's a gas mask, pellets, medium caliber. Okay, so rifles are totally a thing, and I didn't actually realize the last time I played through here. But he doesn't really have much else for us, so this is now the open world portion of the game. So now it's, I believe we're past the point now where we're actually concerned about the prologue. This is the meat of the game right here. You can see we actually have our journal. We can develop skills over time. I'll show you guys how the skills work right now, actually, in a rather creepy manner. Of course, everything is just squeaking in the most terrifying of ways. So what we actually do is we go over to this oven and we cook these mushrooms. So we're going to go ahead and click on them. We have 2 of those, and that's going to fill up this creepy vial. Now, the idea for the story is that all of the flora and the fauna in the world of Darkwood is mutated. So by harvesting that, you can inject yourself with it, and sometimes it'll have, you know, good consequences. You'll be able to actually upgrade your skills, perhaps. And at the same time, it might do something really bad to you. So it's kind of a risky situation. We have a lockbox. I probably could never guess that, so we're not going to sit here. Let's check this wardrobe. So at this point, our main focus is pretty much survival. And as he said, we also have to keep an eye. Okay, I'm just always walking into things and scaring myself. We have to keep an eye out for the well, actually. Oh, looks like we've got some mushrooms in here. And those totally poisoned me as I attempted to harvest them, so that was a massive failure. Alright, let's make our way outside. So you can see, it's dark in Darkwood all the time. This is technically daytime in Darkwood. So it's just a dark game. It goes from being dark to being really dark. What is this? Okay, we have a generator. We should probably save that for nighttime. I can't imagine that's really useful now. So basically he said that the woman with the chicken is to the southwest. We do have a sort of map. The map doesn't actually show where the player is, at least not as far as I could tell. So it's up to you to pretty much understand where the hell you're going and not get lost and make it back in time before it becomes very, very dark. We're like still heavily poisoned by whatever happened with that mushroom that we got smacked in the face with, so that's sort of an issue. It's making us move really, really slow. We're going to be very careful about that. Let's just see if we can't hunt down a couple more mushrooms. That's really what I'm interested in right now. Get ourselves a nice little skill upgrade. So yeah, I mean, I keep mentioning the sound design, and as I'm walking through this forest, you know, it's one of those things I'm immediately recognizing. Again, you have the birds, and they manage to almost evoke a feeling of happiness and of calmness, like, oh, it's daytime, everything's okay. You know, we can hear these nice birds, you know, sort of tweeting away, but then at the foreground of that, tank wreck. What the hell happened in this game? Oh! Ow! Oh, I'm in a bear trap. Oh my god, that was hardcore, dude. Who the hell's this guy? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, we're running. We can't handle this. We have no weapon. We have no health. Is he still following us? Yes, yes, run away. That's as I was saying, then you have the sort of crows in the foreground, you know, it's still kind of just like horror. And then you have things like that, bear traps, because you're not paying attention to where you're walking. There is a dog over there. I think he stopped following us? I'm not actually sure. Oh man, we are in a really bad way. we can't actually craft anything either. We desperately need bandages, and we don't have anything to make bandages. This has been a very bad start for me. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, wait, we got a corpse. It's a rag. Is that enough to make a bandage? Nope, we need 2 rags, so we only have 1. So I found Darkwood very interesting. The second reason being, you know, when I got my hands on a copy of the game. Oh, crap. Yeah, I had just been done doing that video where I was talking to you guys a lot about survival games and how I don't feel they're hardcore enough. And I mean, Darkwood is as hard as it gets. The developers even admitted that in the future they're going to be working on the learning curve because they felt it was too steep. But my time that I've spent with the game so far has really just been more like, no, I kind of actually like it like this. You know, I like the abusive difficulty. I like the fact that it's mixed with, you know, this utterly terrifying, you know, sort of world that I don't understand, and that is always surprising me. As you guys saw there, I don't know what the hell that was chasing me. I'm going to assume it was some other mutated inhabitant of the game. I've really only scratched the surface in terms of the open world aspect of the game because I've died so many times. It's that difficult. Let's actually kick on the generator real quick. Maybe it can help us find some things in the house that we've completely missed out on. Because we really just can't afford to actually go anywhere at this point. That's how bad we are in condition-wise. So Wolfman's went back to his place. He didn't even grab any more mushrooms when we got poisoned, so that was a very pointless harvest. But, you know, of course, multiple difficulties just makes more sense to me as the game progresses. You know, have that hard mode, have the more easy mode, one that's more focused on just letting people experience the story and discovering. I don't see a reason why you can't cater to both sides, so we'll have to see what the developers do. Again, I've just been super impressed with the game overall in terms of its actual design. You know, as much time as I got to spend with it, I'm looking forward to knowing more about the story, and of course, as the game moves out of alpha and begins to add more content, there will be a lot more features added to the game, and we'll see a lot more going on. But at its current state, it has me very curious as to the story. It has me terrified and on edge as well, which is always very, very good to see a game doing. And at the same time, you know, I've just come away super impressed with the sound design. The sound design is just exceptional. And it's not even like each of the individual design, you know, sounds is like mind-blowingly done. Like, that sounds exactly like that. But they strike a chord, you know, with the normal person. They're so familiar. The creaking of a floorboards in a house as a child. You know, the small things that always terrified you as a kid. And even the things as an adult that, you know, can just be very nerve-wracking sounds. The sliding of, like, this metal cabinet across the floor. Even when you sprint through a door. And then that creak afterwards. It adds to everything that happens in the game. And when things start stacking on top of each other, when you're running from a dog, you're running from some madman with an axe into a house, and the door is busting open, the floor is creaking. It's this sensory overload in the sound design department that really has just shooken me as I've played the game in the best possible way. So I think we're just going to have to venture out. There's not really much we can do at this point. As much as it just kind of sucks. Our stamina is super low because our health is low, so we're just going to walk slow. We're going to see if we can't find something close by. There's got to be other houses nearby that perhaps we can loot and find some goods from. I'm very, very cautious as to what that is. It's a crate. There's a flare, a matchstick, and some junk. So perhaps we might be able to use the flare at some point to fend off creatures, enemies, so we'll keep that for sure. I think we have some mushrooms over here. Okay, let's actually go back with these mushrooms. We might be able to give ourselves a little bit of a health boost now, and I'll show you guys a little bit of how this system works. So with these early access games, you know, I'm not really going to sit here and you know, tear them apart for a lot of their content, especially one that's so early in development. I mean, the game just dropped into early access. You know, maybe if it ends up being stuck in alpha for like 6.5 years, then I'll probably have some negative things to say about it. But right now, I've only come away impressed, to be honest, with what they're doing with the game. And again, that sound design has been like the killer for me. I can't say it enough. And I think just from watching this, you guys will really understand what I'm talking about. It's so noticeable, and there are actually very few games, even when you talk AAA, that have such good sound design that the first thing you say about the game is like, wow, that sounds good, you know? I mean, there are games out there that are really trying to aim for that, but few really deliver. We don't have enough. You guys get the idea, though. We'd eventually be able to use that for upgrades, and at the same time, we also have the risk of sort of like turning ourselves into a really sick, messed up person, maybe? I don't know. There's so much to the story that I'm just completely unfamiliar with. But this has been a look at Darkwood, guys. Once again, it's in early access, and I actually can't recommend it enough. For a game that is in early access, if you're someone who enjoys early access titles, you know, you played Project Zomboid or whatever, and you're looking for something that you can really sort of dive into that is full of mystery, that just has a lot to be discovered, and at the same time, again, it's just sprinkled with some really, really great game design, and is also very scary. You know, if you're looking for a horror experience, I recommend Darkwood quite a bit. For $15, I would say that this is an early access title, definitely worth checking out if you're into that kind of thing. Again, for someone who is super concerned about bugs in the future and doesn't want to see their character save wiped over and over, then it's not for you. But I really enjoyed taking a look at this game. I plan on playing a little bit more of it, and as I start to discover more of the story, I'd definitely like to share my thoughts on the game as we go further on with you guys. But if you have any questions about Darkwood or anything you'd like to say about what you saw here, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.